Welcome to SAP Production Planning Training. This training is delivered as e-learning, so you can call it a video training program. So let's see the introduction side of SAP PP today, production planning module, or what are the prerequisites to learn SAP PP. First and the main point is anybody can learn SAP. Okay, so I'm not talking about SAP PP only, I'm talking about any module in SAP. So anybody can learn any module in SAP, doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter if you have IT degree or you have non-IT degree, and everybody can learn. As I said before, I learned without any sales or any IT background. Even some people they call about you need some sort of domain experience. Okay, but in my experience, it's not necessary. Okay, because if your training is good, you'll be learning every concept within the training. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you do not have any domain experience. In this training program, I'll be teaching you everything. Manufacturing business process knowledge is preferred but not mandatory. So that means if you know some business processes in the manufacturing industry, that will help you to understand SAP PP, but it is not mandatory because as I said, I'll be teaching you everything from scratch. In this training program, you will be learning everything from scratch. Understand SAP from business point of view, not only configuration. So what that means is in this training program, you'll be learning not only the configuration, which is just like clicking on the buttons uh, to create some transactions and all that, but here we also understand about how the functionality within SAP are integrated with the business day-to-day activities. Okay, so I'll give you an example here. For example, during the school days, we used to study trigonometry and differentiation integration, but we never had any idea where in real lifetime we're going to use it. Okay, so this is what I mean here. This training is not all about learning the formula like trigonometry and mathematics. Here we're learning about the real-time examples and the use of every topic that we'll be covering. The only expectation from you is your desire and your commitment to learn. Start with our first topic today, which is introduction to ERP. Okay, so this video is all about introduction to ERP, SAP, and SAP PP. Okay, it's just an introduction and overview, and in the next topic we'll do some practicals as well. So introduction to ERP. So here we're talking about what is ERP and what is SAP and all that. So what is ERP? So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. That's what ERP stands for. Why ERP? Why we need ERP in the day-to-day business these days? Let's see. Integration of business processes. Okay, so what that means is every company have different business processes. You can call it like they have a sales and distribution process, they have a procurement process, they have production planning, they have a finance, they have HR. All these business processes can be integrated into one software which is known as ERP. Standardization of system across location. Okay, so the company or the business can be in different countries, in different cities, so we can have a standard system across different locations for overall control of the organization. Better controlling of different business processes. Better reporting system. Obviously, when we have a integrated software which is integrating every part of the business, so obviously will have a better reporting here. And the best utilization of resources, for example, man, material, and machines. ERP products in the market. Okay, what type of ERP products that we have in the market as of today? Of course, SAP. So SAP is an ERP product, okay, with more than 60% market share at the moment, okay, or you can call it, this is the number one ERP software in the market. Okay, there's some other software as well in ERP. They are Oracle, BAN, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, Marshall, etc. And there are some others small softwares. Okay, but of course SAP is number one. Now we'll talk about introduction to SAP. So this video is basically for the beginners who have no background in SAP or never seen any SAP screen before or have no idea about SAP, but they want to learn SAP. So that is why I have created an introduction video. If you already have some experience in SAP, you may skip this video and you can continue with the next one. Okay, so what is SAP? So SAP stands for System Applications and Products in Data Processing. All over the world, we have approx more than 10 million users, 30,000 installations, 1,000 partners, and 21 industry solutions. SAP is the fourth largest software company in the world. Okay, so fourth biggest company among all the softwares. However, number one in ERP softwares. Okay, so fourth largest in the software company. An SAP R3 system is a business software package designed to integrate all areas of a business. Okay, so as I said earlier in the introduction of ERP, same goes for SAP, that it will integrate all the areas of a business. It can be sales and distribution, it can be procurement, production, finance, controlling, and all that. Now, SAP is also known as SAP R3. Okay, so here I'll just explain you what is SAP R3, and also we'll discuss a little bit about the architecture of SAP system. So the SAP R3 system has a 3-tier client server architecture. So on the right hand side you can see a picture here. So the picture is showing you 3 different layers. Okay, so if I show you that here, so you can see here we have one layer called presentation layer. So that's the first layer, where which is the front end, where on the PC we use the SAP system. Okay, behind this one there is one more layer which is known as application layer. So your PC will get the data from application layer, and at the bottom we have database layer, and application layer will talk to database layer. So what that means, presentation layer will talk to application layer will talk to database layer to get the data. Okay, now this is a technical side of SAP. We don't need to worry about how they work, how they install. That's a different module in SAP. This is just for your knowledge. So this is 3-tier client server architecture. R stands for, when I say SAP R3, R stands for real-time data processing, and 3 stands for 3-tier architecture. SAP R3 is the old name given to the SAP ERP architecture. The new name is simply called SAP ERP. Okay, so R3 is a new old name. The new name is simply known as SAP ERP system. Also, many people, they call it SAP stands for SAP. Okay, but again you can call it SAP, but it's not a professional, especially when you go for an interview. Never call it SAP. Okay, always call it SAP. So here is showing the SAP R3 architecture again. So here you can also again see that the R3 system is basically consists of different modules. Okay, it's an integration of different modules. So different modules can be your ABAP, you can see financial accounting, controlling, asset accounting, project system, sales and distribution, material management, production planning, quality management, PM module, HR module, industry solution, workflow, and all that. Okay, so it's the integration. Everything is integrated within one software, which is your SAP software. Now we'll talk about modules in SAP. What are the different modules that we have in SAP? We can divide the modules in two parts. Okay, so basically we have either functional modules or technical modules. So what is functional module? So here are some examples of functional modules. So functional modules are like FI, financial planning, or can be CO controlling, HR for human resources, sales and distribution, material management, of course production planning that we're learning here, CRM, and many others. Okay, so these are the function modules. So for most of the function module, anyone can learn, and doesn't matter what your background is. As I discussed earlier, it doesn't require any prerequisite. You will be learning everything from scratch within a training. And then we have some technical modules in SAP. So what are the technical modules? Like NetWeaver or BISYS, ABAP, which is the programming side of it, BIBW, which is another module which is for reporting purpose, SAP Enterprise Portal, HANA, and some others. Okay, so these are the technical modules. To learn the technical modules, ideally you have relevant background. Okay, ideally, not necessary. Okay, for example, ABAP is the programming. Okay, ideally if you know some other programming, it will be helpful, but it's not mandatory, because I learned ABAP, that's how I know. I learned ABAP without any programming background. So ideally they say that you should have technical or the relevant knowledge to learn any of these modules. However, as per my experience, it's not mandatory. Now we'll talk about SAP classical landscape. What SAP classical landscape means? Basically we have three systems in an environment. We have three types of system. Okay, one is the development system. Development system is where we will be developing the solution for the business. Okay, so as you know, the SAP software is a standard software. However, it can be used in different types of industry. Can be pharmaceutical company, can be automobile, can be some others. So we develop the solution in the development system, or you can call it is a server. Okay, so in the development server. So any changes, any customizing we need to do, any experiment we need to do, we'll do in this system. Once we are happy that the changes are fine, then we'll send it to a system called or a server called QoS or testing system. Okay, where we'll do the testing and make sure the changes we have done is working the way it should be working. And finally, once everything is ready, we'll send it to the production or live system, which will be used by the end users. Okay, so I'll talk about end users in a minute. So these are the three servers you will find in the real-time environment for SAP. Same thing, same you can see here. So here you have the development client or the development server. Any changes done here will be sent to the testing client. Any changes, or when you're happy here that everything is fine, and then we'll send it to the live system or production system. Now we'll discuss about types of users in SAP. We have basically three types of users in SAP system. First one is end users. Okay, end users who are using the SAP system on it for their day-to-day activities. Okay, for example, in the business, sales people will be creating the sales orders or deliveries or invoices. Purchasing people will be creating the purchase order, purchase acquisition, okay, goods receipt and all that. And production people will be doing the creating the production order and planned orders and all the stuff. And same way the finance people will be creating their own transactions. Okay, so they are the end users. Okay, if I need to explain it again in a bit more details, it's still not clear what are the end users, I'll give you example. If you think about Facebook, okay, think about Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. Okay, most of us got an account on those websites. Okay, now we are the end users of the Facebook. Okay, however, there are some consultants sitting behind the Facebook page who are customizing the page, okay, or making the developments, or what things you can see, what function you can use, how you can share, how you can like, yeah, how you can comment, how you can add, yeah, how you can delete. So this is done by the consultants. Okay, so we are the end users, but somewhere in the Facebook head office they will have the consultants who are customizing the system or developing the website or the system. Okay, so we are the end users and they are the consultants. Same goes for SAP. What we're learning here is basically the consultant level, but we have the end users in a business who will be using on a day-to-day basis. So those are the end users. The second type we have is super users, or also known as power user. Now, super users have better knowledge of SAP than end user, but still they are not consultant. Okay, so they can provide, say, first level of support, or they can be the first point of contact within a business. However, they still do not much about the customizing side, more about the front end, or maybe a little bit about the customizing, depending on the person to person, but they do not have the expertise as per the consultant. So they are the super user. And the third level of users we have is SAP consultants, okay, who will be customizing the system as per the business requirements. Okay, and this training is all about learning or to become SAP consultant. However, we'll be starting with the first 20% of the topics will be all about learning how end users are using the system. Okay, so that means first 20% video I'll be teaching you the front end, and the last 80% will be all about learning customizing. So these are the types of users we have. Now we'll talk about role of SAP PP Consultant. So what you're supposed to do once you complete a course or once you have expertise in SAP PP, what is the role of a SAP PP Consultant? Once you are ready to apply for the job after completing the training, you should be able to apply two types of job. One is SAP PP Support Consultant job. Other one you can do is you can work in the implementation as well. Okay, so I'll discuss both of them. What is support consultant and what is implementation consultant. So let's talk about the SAP PP support consultant. Okay, now support consultant are those people who are working for an organization who is using SAP system or SAP PP system. Okay, so you can call it like help desk support. Okay, for example, if you think about any big company, maybe Toyota or Coca-Cola, all these companies are using SAP, and they have thousands of users or thousands of end users who are using the system on day-to-day basis. And of course, every day they have some questions, they have some issues, some errors, and they need someone, or they need a help desk for SAP PP to fix the problems or to answer their questions. So that's where these types of jobs will come, SAP PP support consultant. So you can apply for the jobs for any company who is using SAP, and you can work there as a support person for the end user. So here are some duties that you can expect as an end users, as a support consultant. Attending the issue with SAP PP end users. Okay, so we'll be attending the issue with them, gathering requirements from the users, mapping requirements into SAP, and changing the SAP configuration if required. Okay, if somebody asks you to, they want this functionality, then you may need to change the configuration in the system. Okay, and this training is all about learning configuration. Coordinating with the developer for enhancement. If you have a requirement from the end users to create a report or some program or some enhancement, then You will be the bridge between the end user and the ABAPer or the technical guy, the programmer. Okay, so we'll be coordinating with the developer for enhancements, helping end users with the user acceptance testing. Okay, whenever there is some changes done in the SAP system in the configuration or enhancement, we'll be helping the end users to test the changes, which is known as UAT, user acceptance testing. You may be involved in delivering SAP training as well to the end users. So in the company, if they recruit some new people and they have never used SAP, probably you may be asked to provide them SAP training for their day-to-day activities, like how to create production order, how to run MRP, how to create material master, things like that. Creating training documents, etc. So these are the common duties you can expect when you work as support consultant. Then we have SAP consultant in implementation. When I say implementation, that means any company who wish to install SAP. Okay, so this type of jobs, probably you can get a job with a company called say IBM or Accenture. Okay, and then they will be sending their team to any company who wish to implement the SAP system. Okay, now this type of project can take from few months to few years to complete. Okay, so for example, maybe XYZ company, they're using some old ERP software, now they want to move to SAP. They will hire IBM, and IBM will be implementing the SAP solution for them. So IBM will be sending their team of consultant, which will include the PP consultant as well, and you'll be going there to the XYZ company and will be implementing the solution for them. Now the duties you can expect is organizing workshop and gathering customer requirements, scoping, gap analysis, and preparing blueprints. Okay, so we'll talk about the what is blueprint and all that, or what is scoping in the later on in another video in detail. But here basically you need to get the requirement and to map the requirement for the business. Then customizing and delivering the solution. Okay, so whatever requirement is from the XYZ company, you'll be customizing into the SAP system and delivering the solution. Coordinating with technical team for enhancement, like I said earlier. Testing the changes. If there is any changes done by the technical guy or the programmer, you will be the first point of contact to test the changes, make sure it is working. Documenting the process, you need to document it. Writing training documents, training end users, etc. Okay, so these are the common duties of a SAP PP consultant, and the main skill required to perform these duties is the SAP customizing skill, SAP configuration skill matched with the business processes as well. That's what we're learning here. Now we'll talk about little bit about SAP PP, which is production planning. What is PP? So you all know that PP stands for production planning. So production planning can be for any industry type. Doesn't matter whether you're going to work in a motorbike company, whether you're going to work in a car manufacturing company, or whether it's a pharmaceutical company making some medicines, or can be something else, any other manufacturing company. The standard software remains the same. All you need to do is to customize the way they want it. Okay, so this is what a lot of freshers in SAP or the newcomers who wish to learn SAP, they get confused, or they keep asking me that what sort of duties they will be performing over there. Okay, so basically you will get the right answer once you complete the training. However, in brief, if I tell you, then it's all about, as I said earlier, we have a standard SAP software, okay, which will come, which you can see anywhere in the market. Now that software has to be customized by us as per the requirement of that industry. Okay, if it's a pharmaceutical company, they may have different business process. If it's a car manufacturing company, they may have a different process. So what we need to do is to get to know their business process and to map the business process into the standard SAP. So that means the standard SAP will become a specific software with as per the requirement as per that business. Okay, hope I clear that out. But again, as I said, you will learn more about it once you complete the training. So production planning, as I said, PP stands for production planning. In this training, we'll be learning all about how the SAP can be used in the production planning environment. So production planning function of SAP is a part of the logistic area. Okay, so you can think it's like a logistic part of SAP. It is one of the important modules in the ERP software, and also it's a core module. PP module supports the planning and production functions occurring in day-to-day business operations. The production planning module consists of all master data, system configuration, and transactions to complete the planning and production process. SAP PP is the process of aligning forecasting and customer demand with manufacturing facility to create production and procurement schedules for finished products and component resources. That means depending on the forecasting of the materials and the customer demand, SAP PP will be organizing the manufacturing facilities for the finished products that needs to be delivered to the customer on a specific planned date. So we'll learn more about it later on. SAP PP interface with other modules. Okay, so here you can see in the middle you have SAP PP. It is integrated with different modules. Okay, it is integrated with FI, financial accounting, and then controlling, then sales and distribution, PS module, project system, MM material management, plant maintenance, QM is quality management, HR is human resources. Okay, so PP is integrated with different modules, and how this integration happens, we'll be talking about this later on in detail when we get into those topics. Production planning basic data. Now production planning has different components. Okay, so it has different parts, different types of data is used in SAP PP and all that. So for example, you can have a routing concept, work center, production resources and tools, capacity, bill of materials, inspection plan, production facility, materials and all that, and many others. Okay, so we'll talk about all these parts of SAP PP or SAP PP as we go further in the next topics. So this is just an introduction to SAP and PP, and we'll more talk about it in the next videos in detail. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you very much to watch this, and I will catch you in the next video. Again, thanks a lot to watch this.